Hello and welcome to another webinar today. I'm your host, Wesley Smith from treeservicedigital.com, and we're going to go through your Google Ads training today. This is called the Google Ads Masterclass for Tree Service in 2025. All the new updates, things you need to be aware of that are really moving the needle and getting good results on the Google pay-per-click ads. And this is different from the local service ads. Local service ads are at the very top of the page. Those are the kind of pay-per-call ads at the very top that you'll see. And then right below that are the Google ads, the traditional, it was called Google AdWords for 15 years or so. And then they shortened it to Google Ads 3 to 5 years ago. So now it's called the Google Ads. So I will share my screen and we will get cooking right with these slides here. One second. Let's see if I can find that here. All right. There we go. Okay, let me make sure this is working here. Okay. Make that full screen. There we go. All right, so the Google Ads Masterclass for Tree Service in 2025. So glad you're here. This is one of the things that, when you really want to grow your tree service business, the great thing about Google Ads, the pay-per-click ads, is they literally can show up all across your entire service area where you may only get minimal coverage with SEO and your Google Maps listing in your kind of local area where your office shop is or where your Google map was verified. The Google Ads, however, will show up everywhere you want to cover. So it's a really important topic, and we'll get right into it. So we go through the digital dominance method with all of our clients and potential clients that we talk to. So you may have seen this before. It's everything you need to be doing with internet marketing, your digital marketing, to really get the best results and dominate your local area. And number one is your website, your Google Maps listing, your reputation, reviews, your rankings. Are you showing up on the first page for all those tree service near me, tree service your city searches, things like that? It's kind of your foundation. Everybody's going to end up on your website at some point. But you also want to make sure that you're running paid ads. These are showing up above the maps and above, kind of above the organic section where, Google makes their mind up. If your website's more authoritative than the competition, they'll put you on that first page as well as your Google Maps. If you have enough reviews, enough photos uploaded, enough optimizations going on where you're responding to reviews and doing all the things you got to do there. Right above that, though, those are pay to play. Google ads, pay-per-click ads, and then local service ads. Today, specifically, we're just going to go through Google ads. It's just kind of one of the components. So you'll see here, number two are paid ads. And that basically encompasses Google ads, Google local service ads, as well as next store ads that we do for our clients. So the paid ad section is a very close number two to number one because you can really be highly visible and get those really emergency calls, motivated callers that really need to get tree service work done. Give me a quote. Let's see if it works. Let's go with it, right? Those types of calls. And that's what you're looking for in this business. So need your attention, please. If you want to get the most out of this webinar over the next 20 to 30 minutes, and it's not the entire digital marketing program, it's just a bite-sized chunk of the Google ads. It's about 20 to 30 minutes. Then these are critical moments, right? You can learn a good bit about kind of what we're seeing in the market and some of the new changes and the new things that are popping up with Google ads. So I would just take a look at this and see, hopefully we can get some value out of it for you today. If you're also on and you have a question at any point, feel free to pop a chat question in there. There's a chat button at the bottom. And then there's also a question and answer box. So if you have a question, just pop it in the question and answer box. And as soon as I see it, when I take a break here in a little while, we'll just answer your questions. Or if you have any questions in general, if you're watching this recording later on YouTube or something like that, go ahead and just pop it into the comments section below. And oh, hey, Nick, how many people are here? I don't know. I'm thinking about 20. We had about 35 registrations, and typically we get a little bit over half show up live, but there will be a recording and a replay. So, but you may be asking yourself, like, what are we going to cover today? Right? So what we're going to cover today, we're going to cover why Google Ads pay-per-click marketing is key to unlimited scalability in terms of lead flow for your tree service business. We're going to go over live examples of pay-per-click campaigns generating a 5 to 15x ROI for other tree service companies. And we're going to show you how to set up and structure your pay-per-click marketing campaign for minimum cost per lead and maximum ROI. How to measure KPIs and your key performance indicators, tracking of the leads, the landing pages, and your campaign structure. And also, if we're going to put it on this one slide, we're going to go over what's working, what's new, what's on the horizon, what are Google doing with AI, with ads and things like that coming down the pike. So we're going to go over that as well. And then why the internet, right? There's been a massive transition from offline to online. You guys know that by now. And statistics tell us that more than 77% of consumers go online when looking for tree services or other home services. And there are over 10 million searches every month for tree service and removal, land clearing, arborists, different things like that. So, do you want your share? Of course you do. That's why you're here. Who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, I've been in the internet marketing space for 12 years plus now, digital marketing specifically, and offline marketing as well. I'm the author of a new book. You guys grab your free copy. If you go to our website, treeservicedigital.com, there's a link to get the free book. You fill out a quick little form and we'll ship it right to you. We just need your details on like your address and your name and things like that. But the accelerated growth roadmap for tree service companies, and it's right here. It's a short read. It's only about 100 pages, but it's got all the information you need to really do omnipresent multi-channel marketing for your tree service business. Make sure you get the most bang for your buck with your marketing dollars. And so happy to send you a free copy of that. And we also have the first book that we published, How to Win with Internet Marketing for Tree Service Contractors. So grab both of those if you want. Happy to ship one out to you. Or you can get it on Amazon Kindle for, I think, like $1.99. So super inexpensive if you want to just read the e-version. But we specialize in tree service and arborist digital and offline marketing, expert web development and digital marketing team behind me. And we've worked with over 100 tree service companies across the US and Canada to generate a flood of new business and help them really grow their business. And this is going to help you as well increase your sales and revenue, enhance your online reputation, drive more calls, leads, and profits, and increase repeat and referral business as well. Our whole program, it really helps our clients kind of pull out all stops for digital marketing, get leads coming in from new customers, as well as repeat and referral business from old and existing customers in your database. So you may be asking yourself, should Google Ads pay-per-click marketing be part of my overall internet marketing strategy? So we think it should be. We definitely do. We see good results with it. In most cases, some markets are super saturated and competitive, so it's a little tougher, and your pay-per-click costs are going to increase in those environments because it's just an auction, and we'll show you that here. But for the maximum flow of calls, leads, and profitability in your tree service business, we do suggest doing Google paid ads, and that's Google Ads, Google Local Service Ads, which are the pay-per-call ads, and then Nextdoor Ads is another kind of channel that you can open up too. It's gotten a pretty big user base, so it is effective. But the Google Ads we'll talk about more today. So why should Google Ads pay-per-click be a part of your internet marketing strategy? Well, the cool thing is you can start showing up quickly. Like you can launch a campaign and be showing up tomorrow. You need to set it up correctly though. And there's a couple things to look out for. Show up as often as possible where your customers are looking the most. You can show up for non-geo modified terms. Like if somebody just types in tree service or tree service near me or tree removal, tree trimming, you can show up right there at the very top without them having to put in the city for a geo modifier. Whereas with SEO, a lot of times they will know based on your IP address that you're typing tree service near me in a specific city, such as Houston, Texas, or whatever. They'll know that based on your IP address. But if they put the Houston city in the search, it further kind of sometimes takes out some of the results on the first page of Google. So if you run your ads with that, your Google ads, you can show up for all that, no matter what they type in. And it's got unlimited scalability. Here's why most Google Ads campaigns fail when trying to do this on your own. And there's nothing wrong with trying. Some people get it and they set up a smart campaign with Google, which are the really quick, easy ways to set up a quick pay-per-click campaign. The only problem is the targeting in there is very minimal. And so you're going to have a lot of waste. So here's why most of them fail. Most people just don't understand the Google Ads auction process and the complexity of the tree service keywords, right? There's so many different keywords, and there's also negative keywords that you don't want to show up for when people type in. And so that can really blow your budget fast and zap your wallet. So you want to make sure you look out for some of these things. And we see it really often with old campaigns. A lot of people only set up one ad group for all of their services. And this is a mistake too, because then you won't get as high a click-through rate with your ads. And click-through rate is very important so that when people type in a search, tree service near me, for example, and they see your ad, if everybody keeps whizzing by it and they don't click on your ad, that means your ad copy is not compelling enough to get them to click. So there's an issue there with your ad copy. And so we'll show you kind of what's going to get the most clicks, the highest cost, the highest impression share and more click-through rate. That really helps your ad and the score of your ads as well. But if you only set up one ad group, like call tree service today, call XYZ tree service today, and you don't have anything mentioning the search they just did, then you're going to have a lower click-through rate. So for example, if somebody types in tree trimming or tree removal, you want different types of ads showing up for those searches. So a lot of people don't use specific text ads and landing pages for groups of keywords either. And that really makes a big difference. No strong call to action or offer on the landing page. And the landing page is very crucial to converting those clicks. When people click, you've only got their attention for like 2 to 4 seconds. Got to make sure we have a good landing page. So another reason why is, again, we can kind of expand on the previous slide. You have one ad group and you put all the keywords in the same ad group, right? Tree trimming, tree removal, tree pruning, stump removal, stump grinding, land clearing, arborist consultations, tree healthcare, whatever the case may be, emergency storm work. And you have just one ad, right? One or two ads that rotate for any one of those searches. Well, that's not going to get you a good click-through rate typically, because what you want to do is if somebody types in tree trimming, you want different ad copy than if somebody types in tree removal. You're going to want to have different ad copy for those different types of searches so that it resonates with that person that's doing that search. And therefore, you're going to get that click, a higher percentage chance of the time, which is going to lead them to your landing page. And then if your landing page is pretty good, then you're going to get more conversions. You're going to get more leads. So there's a little bit of a science to it, just to make sure you get the best bang for your buck. And generally speaking, running the ads to your main website homepage is going to confuse kind of the inner office staff, and people aren't going to understand where all the leads are coming from and things like that. So there's some things you can do to really segregate, kind of segment the lead flow that comes in. So we'll show you that too. But why most BPC campaigns fail is there's not a good landing page. This is an example of one of our landing pages. It's a dedicated landing page just for the Google paid ads. Only when people are searching for tree service near me, tree removal near city, whatever the case may be, and they see that little link at the top that says, #1 tree removal company, call now for a free estimate, call now for an estimate today, whatever you got to put in there to get them to click on it. And we test a lot of different versions of ad copy for that headline. Once they click, you then have their attention for, like I said, like 3 to 5 seconds. And you got to make sure you got a good landing page. So as soon as they click on this, what you want to do is you want to make sure there's a get a free estimate form right at the top of the page where there's no mistaking it. They can't miss it. They only have one option there. Put my information in. Somebody's going to give me a call. You can also have automations where as soon as this is submitted, somebody submits it, they get a text message and you get into a quick text message thread with that lead. Really good, because right away they're talking to somebody. They're less likely to go to the competitor's website. You also want to have a click to call button and make that highly visible at the top of the page so that people can just click on it with their thumb, boom, click it. It opens up their phone pad and then they hit send and it calls your office right away. So you want click to call button on there. You want some reviews and testimonials on there. And then you want to get a free estimate form in a couple of different spots. That way, the more you ask them as they're scrolling through that landing page, the more likely it is they're going to submit that form or give you a call. So that's kind of the science behind it. So if we go through a quick case study here, we got another question here. Matthew, thanks for the question. Do you mind posting the link for the book Accelerated Growth Roadmap for Tree Service at the end of our meeting? Sure, I'll do that, Matthew. I'll post that here either in the chat or I can, it looks like I can type it right there in the answer. So I will pull that up as we go and see if we can get that put in there for you. Favorite website design. I mean, you can use those drag and drop builders like Wix and GoDaddy, but there are limitations on those. So you can't put some of the bells and whistles on those. They don't integrate sometimes with CRMs that you guys are using for your customer lists. A lot of the SEO tweaks and coding and different things that really help you show up above the competition are going to be limited on those drag and drop builders, those easier ones. Nothing wrong with getting started with those though, because you need to get one online as soon as possible to make sure your domain and your website's been online long enough to get, some trust and authority with Google. But nothing wrong with starting with those. But I think that you can evolve into a better website on WordPress, something along those lines. But great questions. Thanks so much for asking them. Here's a quick case study. This was in a population of like 2 to 300,000. So I put the average like 250,000 population. This client got 37 leads from Google Ads, pay-per-click ads. And basically they converted about 40% of the leads. 37 leads times 40%, that's 15 book jobs. The average ticket was about $1,250. So the 15 jobs they booked times 1,250 average invoice is $18,750 in revenue. And again, this is just one marketing channel, right? This is Google Ads. They're running local service ads. They're running email and text marketing. They're doing SEO, Google Maps, reputation marketing. All that stuff generates leads in itself. But the projected ROI on just that was about 8x, right? So it's $18,750 in sales from the jobs they booked from the campaign, and they spent $2,300 on the Google Ads clicks for the month. So that's an 8x ROI if you do the math there and just divide 18,750 by 2,300. It's about an 8 times return on investment. So it's a really good return, and every month is going to fluctuate just a little bit because you can't really predict how good the leads are going to be month to month. Some months everybody's motivated to sign and get the work done. Other months they may be tire kicking a hair more. You just never know, right? And it kind of depends on what they're going through as well. So I just wanted to show you kind of a case study of what you could expect if you have a good campaign. So here's how to set up and structure your pay-per-click marketing campaign for minimum cost per lead and maximum return on investment. So here's how to structure your Google Ads campaign. You need to measure conversions. So you need to track conversions, which are basically when somebody submits that form to get a free estimate, or somebody calls on the button on your website there, your landing page, to give you a call after they clicked on the ad. Those are conversions. Your campaign must be broken into smaller ad groups targeting the various services that you provide so that your text ads match what the person typed. You want to make sure you have a strong understanding of keyword match types. And don't forget about negative keywords. Negative keywords are what you don't want to show up for when somebody types in. You need to write compelling text ads that resonate with what the customer typed and entice them to click on you versus the competition. Leverage ad extensions to make your ad stand out on the page. Make it thicker. Make it bigger than the competitors' ads. You have to land visitors on a solid, well thought out page on your site that are built to convert, the landing page. And you want to do ongoing split testing, tweaking and fine tuning like ad copy, different types of ads, different landing pages, and make sure you're putting the best foot forward with what's working. So don't even think about spending another penny on Google Ads until you have your conversion tracking in place. Conversion tracking essentials. So you want a dedicated phone number for the pay-per-click marketing campaign. That way you know every time this phone number rings, this phone number calls and forwards to your office, that's a Google Ads lead. There's no mixing it up with people that call your Google Maps or people that call your direct mail piece or people that just know your phone number. They're not going to call that Google Ads number. That Google Ads number is going to be clicked on and called only when they click on the ad. So you know how many leads you got from the Google Ads. You want a keyword pool with dynamic number swapping so that you can track phone calls back to the keyword and the campaign. That way you know what's working. You want to do web form tracking. So in that previous example where there's a get a free estimate form, you want to make sure that you track those submissions. So when somebody submits that form, you want to make sure you get credit for a conversion on that. You know you got a lead when they submitted that form. Conversion tracking built into your ads campaign to determine which ad group generated a lead. That's a really good quality thing to do. So here's the most important KPIs. If you're doing this in your office, try to get the person managing this for you to put this together for you once a month. How much you spent total, your average cost per click. So every time somebody clicked on your ad, what was the average cost per click? The average cost per lead, or sometimes they call this average cost per conversion. And what was the return on investment? How much did you spend? And what are the collective invoices that you build for all of those leads added up? We've got some kind of example lead cost here for tree trimming, tree removal. It's not 100% like the same in every market. It's always going to vary depending on how many people are running ads, how many competitors are there, and how much people are willing to pay for the clicks. That's what it's going to depend on. So it varies per market for sure. But if you have a dedicated, detailed report, you can really see what that looks like. So like for a week, right, there's a 1 week thing here. where, somebody spent $213. Average cost per click was $2.51. Now, this is blended with search ads as well as performance max ads, which I'll show you here in just a minute. Those are a little bit different than the search ads on Google Ad Search, but they do convert as well in some cases pretty well. So the average cost per conversion in this particular example was $26.65. So you can just kind of see like the metrics, right? How much you spent, average cost per click, cost per lead, and then your overall impressions and all that stuff. So really good to have some sort of tracking mechanism. So here's how to structure your Google Ads campaign. Your Google campaign must be broken down into smaller ad groups targeting the various services that you provide so that your text ads that show up on the page whenever somebody searches it in match what the person typed. So for example, if somebody types in tree trimming and any variation of that, you want to have an ad that says local tree trimming company, call now for a free estimate, or number one tree trimming company, call now for a free estimate, right? That means they typed in tree trimming and they're seeing your ad that mentions we do tree trimming. It's not just one ad that says, hey, we're the top tree removal service. That's not going to resonate with somebody who types in tree trimming. So if somebody types in tree removal, for example, in the middle example, then you want your ad headline to say something about tree removal, right? Number one tree removal service, free estimates, best prices, call today. We mentioned the word they typed in. So you can have your ads all broken up into different ad groups depending on what the person types in. And that's going to help you convert more. Same thing with arborist searches, land clearing searches, et cetera, et cetera. It's all going to help you get more leads for the same cost, right? Get even more specific and granular for the city searches. So if somebody types in, for example, in Florida, tree service DeLand, Florida, right? And some people type that in. Some people do put the city geo modifier in there when they type. Instead of just tree service, they'll type in tree service DeLand, Florida, because they're sitting in DeLand, Florida, and they want to get a highly local result. Well, then you can have your ad say, number one rated tree service DeLand, Florida. Call for a free quote today, right? And this really just kind of mentions the local area because they mentioned it in their ad search, in their search. So it's just good to have ad copy that mirrors what their search term was when they type it in. But keyword types matter as well. This is getting kind of into the weeds for you if you're doing this yourself in your office. But broad match was a thing in the past that most people used, and then everybody got away from it and started using mainly phrase match and exact match for better cost per conversion, better cost per click, because their ad copy was matching more of the search term that people were typing in. But lately, we found that some of the broad match terms do convert and get more lead flow by enabling them. So we will enable them in some cases, depending on the market, competition, and all of that stuff. But broad match is basically like anything anybody types in related to tree service, then it's going to trigger this ad. Phrase match means they have to type in the phrase tree service with a word after, word before, doesn't matter. As long as that phrase tree service is typed in, or tree removal, that phrase is typed in, it's going to trigger your ad. And then on exact match, if they type in just tree service, they don't type in anything else, it'll trigger this ad, right? So there's different ways to show your ad to different types of search terms people type in. So this is just kind of an example, different types of keywords. And watch out for these negative keywords too. Competitor search clicks will kill your budget. What we normally do is gather a list of all the local competitors with a big name and enter those into the Google Ads new campaign we're launching as a negative keyword. Because when people type in, for example, here, Jason's tree service, and maybe you are, XYZ tree service company. When somebody types in Jason's tree service and they see an ad at the top and they click on it and then they call you, you're going to go, hey, good afternoon. This is XYZ tree service. How can I help you? They're going to go, oh, I thought this was Jason's tree service. Sorry, wrong number. Click. And so you just paid for that click, right? So you want to enter Jason's as a negative keyword in your campaign. That way, if somebody types in Jason's tree service, it's not going to trigger your ad. So there's a lot of little things like that to do to really kind of tighten up your budget and make sure you don't show up for too many other phrases and stuff that are similar. Like when somebody types in, for example, tree service jobs, right? Well, you're trying to get tree service customers. If you're looking for help and looking to hire people, that's another story, but you don't want to show up for those searches. Tree service careers, tree service rentals, tree service association, Dollar Tree, Christmas tree. There's just a handful of them that we put in there. We have a negative list of around 1,000 negative search terms that we enter in right from the beginning just because it makes your campaign run efficiently from the beginning. We don't have to do that as we go. We just already got a massive list, and then we do the local ones as we go. So the competitor name searches will kill your budget. Just want to let you know, like these are negative keywords that you want to enter into your campaign. There's a ton more. Um, but you need to also write compelling text ads that resonate with what the customer typed and entice them to click on you versus the other ads, the other competition. Less is more in a lot of cases, right? Just have a nice, good call to action. Tell them exactly what you want them to do. Call now for a free estimate. Get a free estimate. Contact us today. A form that just tells them exactly what they want to do. If you have a special offer for the service that they searched for, reference it in the ad, all the better, right? 10% off in June for tree trimming, right? Whatever you want to put on there. Get $100 off today. Get $100 off in July by booking today. Something like that. Give them one decision, call or a web form to fill out, and push for it. Don't offer them too many options to stray away from your website. You want to make sure that landing page they hit when they click on your ad is going to just capture their information, and that's about it. Because you want leads, you want people calling you. So here's kind of an example of some of the best performing text ads that we have. Let's see here. So these are kind of some of the ad copies that we've used in the past that work really well. So #1 rated tree service, call for a free quote today. Local tree professionals, affordable local tree service company. Don't wait to take dangerous trees down. Tree trimming service, right? This is for a tree trimming type search. So when somebody types in a search like tree trimming near me, tree trimming company, Atlanta, whatever, wherever they're at, this triggers the ad. Tree trimming service, call for a free quote today. Affordable tree trimming company, any job, anytime, affordable pricing, etc. Right? So you get the idea. Like these are ads that resonate with the local searcher when they type in something. This is another one for DeLand, Florida, that we had in the past. #1 tree removal in DeLand. Get a free estimate today. Right? Affordable tree service company, licensed and insured. Licensed and bonded, contact us today, request a free estimate, 5-star rating, right? Just put all these little things in there to make it really thicker in the search page. And make your text ad jump off the page with ad extensions, right? So when you do have your ad copy, your headline, you can put little extensions on your website URL that you put in there as well to make it even more hypo, kind of geographically targeted. So we put in this for Volusia and Flagler counties. And that way people knew that this was a very local company, top-rated local tree service specializing in tree trimming, tree removal, and cleanup, fully licensed and insured. And then you can even have the address stick out as well, right? And that's going to help you kind of just get more local clients coming in. Same day estimates, tree removal and trimming. This is another one. Get a free estimate, 24/7 phone support. So just a couple of examples there. And then you can use call extensions as well. So you see this little number that pops out. This is the tracking phone number for the ad campaign that was in this particular client's ads. So what people can do is if they see this on their mobile device, if they just click that phone number, it'll literally open up their phone pad, and they can make a quick call without even clicking on the landing page. So that's important too, because a lot of people, they don't care who they're calling. They just want to get somebody out there to give them a couple of quotes, and they're going to go with one. So you want to give them that opportunity to click on it and give you a call. So as long as that's there, you're good to go. And then call out extensions, local tree trimming service, fast, friendly, and affordable. You're going to have these call out extensions kind of make it a little bit larger. You see how the ad kind of beefs up a little bit, and it's a little bit thicker here. You got more lines of text. That's going to make it stand out more. It's going to help you get more clicks on there as well. So call us today for a free quote, licensed and insured, on time and reliable, free estimates, emergency tree service. So that's all here, the call out extensions. And we'll go over this one more time because it's super important. You have to land visitors on a solid, well thought out page that are built to convert, a landing page, right? So when they click on it, the ad, you want to make sure you've got some good like trust badges there, like BBB, A+ rated, Google reviews, things like that. Phone number, really loud and clear. Phone number, really big at the top right. Request a free estimate. And you see they got everything here to get somebody to give them a quick call. So that's really important to have all that on there. Let's see here. Get a couple of other questions here. For conversion, is this automatic on website, or are we just using the Google business to determine conversion? Now, Matthew, these are going to be with you're going to need to use what's called the Google Tag Manager and Google conversion tracking codes. So when you set up a new ad campaign inside Google Ads, there's going to be codes that Google will give you that you can paste on the website, and it'll track when people click on it and then call the number or submit the form for a lead. So it's a little bit more complex. A lot of times it's kind of tough to figure out if you haven't really messed around with Google too much in the past. But that's kind of how it works. And so basically you would just do that, and put or you can use the Google Tag Manager, which is a little bit different. It's just a kind of a link that you put on there. And for it saying #1 rated, does it matter if that's true? Yeah, you probably don't want to use it sparingly. You could put top rated, you could put top rated or something like that. Now, if you don't have a good rating, you probably don't want to put that, right? You don't want to put anything that's untrue there. But if you're one of the top rated companies, 4.8 stars, 4.9 stars, or whatever, you're probably one of the top rated. So it wouldn't be a lie. So um, another question is, what are your thoughts on free estimates? Our company used to do free estimates. However, now we do $30 estimates, and it's voided if the job is accepted. We feel like it has decreased our leads, but increased the quality of our leads. That makes sense, Creamer. That makes total sense. I mean, if they have to pay to play, they have to pay to get you to come out, they're going to think twice about it, right? They may not be a serious buyer if they don't want to pay a $30 trip charge, but that makes sense. I mean, I think that whatever works for your business is perfectly fine. You may get less leads, like you say, just on the ad copy and stuff if you don't have free estimates. But if it works for you and you're getting a better quality lead and a better quality customer coming in, that's perfectly fine. I feel like we should leave the free estimates for our Google ads, maybe add on a discount instead. Either one's fine. We've seen both work. Free estimates, best prices, that's always good. Even though you may not be the best price in the market, it still kind of gives them that incentive to give you a call. You could even have like $100 off, through July, like some kind of verbiage like that, where they get a coupon, so that really helps too. Just those little types of tweaks and everything really help. And I'll put the link in the question and answer box for you guys too, for the book here. Let's see if we got it here. Let's see. There we go. All right, Matthew, there's the book link. Should be in there. I can actually just put it. Let's see here. Okay, I don't understand how that thing works. I can put it in the chat as well for you guys for the free book. Something about that question and answer box looks kind of weird, but the free book offer is right there inside the chat right now. If you guys see the chat. But all right, moving on to the next slide. Thanks for those questions. Great questions, guys. Next question is setting up their Performance Max campaigns. So the Performance Max campaigns are a little different than the search campaigns. So search campaigns are when people search on Google for tree service near me, like we just discussed, and they see the ad, they see the landing page, they click on it. Performance Max is basically all these people that are doing these searches with all these different interests. They're going to start showing ads in different areas. And I'm going to show you all the areas that Performance Max ads show. And you can utilize up to 10% of the overall budget, 20% of the overall budget that you have. Let's say you're willing to spend $3,000 a month on Google ads. You could spend $300 a month on Performance Max campaigns, which will show up in all these different areas like Gmail, Google Maps, YouTube, different places. And I'll show you that. So sometimes it has a lower cost per lead than the search campaigns because everybody's cramming in there for those search campaigns, for those tree removal searches and tree trimming searches and stuff like that. These on Performance Max, they show everywhere. YouTube, Google partner sites, Gmail, smartphone apps, they show up all over the place, these Performance Max ads. Google just kind of knows in your local area where you're targeting based on what you put in the Google Ads campaign, who's looking for tree services and who they should show these to. So it's pretty powerful. It does work. It's kind of similar to retargeting where you're showing the images and ads about your company in lots of different places online after somebody clicks on your website or landing page. So you can also have a really short video on YouTube, and you can connect the YouTube channel to your Google Ads campaign and have a YouTube video running as well for a Google ad. Those are pretty good too for branding. So for Performance Max campaigns, here's where it shows up. So on Google search, the ones we talked about previously with the text ads, it only shows up on Google search, soon to be on AI search and all of that stuff with the Gemini and the AI overview and things like that with Google. But right now, it's just on Google search. Whereas the Performance Max, that shows up on Google search, YouTube, different types of Google partner websites, Gmail, Google Maps, all these different places, Google Apps, different things like that. So you're going to see those Performance Max ads show up all over the place. And Google uses a keywordless kind of artificial intelligence technology, AI technology to further augment your searches. So it's like it just kind of knows people in the local community who have searched recently for tree service or have interest in tree service type things. They're going to start showing those performance max ads to those people. So it's kind of smart. It's kind of knows. So it multiplies your results across Google Ads channels and inventory. So again, we'll go back to this case study. 37 leads came in, 40% conversion rate. So people booked, 40% of those got 15 booked jobs out of the 37 leads. Average ticket was $1,250, $18,750 in revenue. And the projected ROI was going to be, it's actually 8x. This was from the previous one that we did. So the ROI is 8x. If you divide 18,750 by $2,300 in ad spend, it's 8x ROI. So that's really good return on investment for just one of the marketing channels, right? That could lead into 200,000 plus a year in revenue just from Google Ads. And again, they only spent $2,300. Some clients want to spend 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 a month. So your ROI gets larger and larger if it's continually converting 8x ROI. So it's really you can really have unlimited lead flow. So you may be wondering, like, what's new? What is new on Google Ads for the future? Here's some of the things we're testing. Here are the highlights of new features, options, and types of campaigns that we have tested and implemented in the last 12 months. So we've tested and seen tremendous results from Performance Max campaigns that concentrate on serving ads in the map pack. So in the Google Maps, you'll see those ads sometimes. We've continued to test and monitor the value of the Google Partner Network and have discovered this needs to be gauged on a case-by-case basis. So the partner network sometimes gets good leads, sometimes it doesn't. And then with the last several weeks, we've begun to test AI Max for search. This is still in beta testing, so it's not actually live, but they have like a little testing feature. It's available for a limited number of accounts where they're kind of starting to show ads in the AI summary, Gemini, different areas like that. It's only a matter of time before paid ads are in these different, AI models like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, different areas like that, because people are starting to search on those platforms as well. Google still has the lion's share, still over 90% search marketing, but people are starting to kind of get value out of these other AI search platforms. So there's going to be ads going on everywhere in the near future. We've successfully integrated a limited number of broad match terms in certain situations. This is important for clients in smaller markets or with small geographic target areas so that we can get them more lead flow if there's less population. We've adjusted our approach to ad copy by blending our traditional pinned headlines and call to actions with a rotating format. It gives us a better ad strength score. So one of the things that helps your Google Ads and them showing it more is if your ad strength is higher. So we've been really working on that. This modified approach utilizes the format that we have seen to be successful for many years with the goal of also achieving a stronger score on the Google platform. And clients with a strong YouTube channel, we've had a strong results with demand gen YouTube campaigns, which is basically people that are searching on YouTube that have clicked on any of your videos or your website recently, they're going to see your YouTube ad. And it's pretty powerful. If you get a nice little video, if you guys doing work or a drone video or anything like that, it really looks nice and it shows up a lot. We've evaluated bidding models with the max conversion, target cost per acquisition models with the goal for the maximum leads. But with tree service campaigns, we still see better results with manual bidding in most cases. Google controlling the bids. Bidding is not aggressive enough to reach the ad positions that we have typically found to be optimal for tree removal and tree service. So we're constantly testing and tweaking these new methods that they roll out just to see if they work, right? You can add images now to the Google Ads. They've got all kinds of little things that have came up in the last year or two that we continue to test. So if you have another pay-per-click marketing provider, ask them these questions. Some agencies are going to charge you for the entire amount, their management fee, plus the budget on Google Ads that they're running for you. So then you're not real sure exactly how much they actually spent on Google. So you want to ask them, like, how much of my budget will go to Google Ads spend versus the management fees that you're charging us, right? And so we do a completely transparent model where pay our program fee to run everything, host everything, and then you see exactly how much you're paying Google, which most people prefer. What type of tracking will you be putting in place? Do you guys do ads, call tracking, and web form conversion tracking? If you don't have a web and call conversion tracking that pulls in the ads, you'll be at a major disadvantage versus the competition. Will you separate the pay-per-click calls versus the organic calls? That way you know where your leads are coming from. It's a very, very crucial thing to do when you track your marketing. How will we track our key performance into your KPIs? Will I be provided with a live dashboard, key metric, average cost per lead, and things like that? Will you be setting up specific landing pages for each ad groups, or will the traffic be directed to the homepage of my website? That's important too. If you're driving traffic to the landing pages, how will those pages be optimized for conversion? Do you split test the ads for each ad group? Will you be leveraging all of the ad extensions to make my text ads stand out in the search results? What are our targets in terms of cost per lead and return on investment? So these are questions to ask your current Google Ads provider if you have one, or you can look at this in the office. So what makes our campaigns better and different? Maybe the next question there. Well, we split the campaign into strategic ad groups based on our experience in the tree service business over the last 7, 8 years to help target your most profitable services. We set up conversion optimized landing pages to get the best results. We set up true conversion optimization so that your conversions, calls, and web form submissions are tracked and associated with the campaign and the keywords in Google Ads so that we can adjust the bid and spend strategy based on the campaigns and the keywords that drive the best conversions. That's all that matters, right? What's driving the best leads for you? This is a big difference between this and just simple call tracking. You will likely know exactly how many calls came from Google Ads versus the organic session, and you can listen to the recordings of all the paid ads leads that came through. So you'll know which keywords too generated the leads and at what cost. This makes it possible for us to optimize based on the keywords that result in calls and stop wasting money on terms that don't get a result for you, right? For each ad group, we set up multiple text ads. We test a lot of different ad copy and we rotate based on the best converting ads each month. So our click-through rates, quality scores improve as the campaigns continue, and that's important to continue optimizing them. We also provide you with a KPI dashboard to track the most important metrics for your Google Ads campaigns. And we offer complete transparency in terms of your ad spend on Google Ads. That way you know exactly what's working. Here's David that gave us a nice review a couple of years ago. We're very thankful for Tree Service Digital. Wesley Smith and his staff have also always provided high quality customer service, and Tree Service Digital has brought Barone's Tree Pros many customers. They're still a client after 6 years. Thanks so much, David, for your business. If you're watching this, or if you do, they're currently ranking #1 on Google. And they helped us to receive a large amount of calls every day. We're even booking 2 months out at the moment. Their campaigns have been successful in helping us to reach many customers, and a large percentage of our customers that contact us through our ads and click links created by Tree Service Digital end up booking with us. Tree Service Digital is an excellent business. We highly recommend using their services. Again, thanks so much, David. Justin Williamson, another one in Florida. What it boils down to is that our phones haven't stopped ringing since we switched to Tree Service Digital. I would not hesitate to recommend them to anyone in the industry. It would just be stupid not to consider them. So you can see more of these at our website, treeservicedigital.com, and we have a page there called Testimonials. Welcome to read through those, watch those videos of our customers talking. And then we also have a written testimonials page as well on the website where some people don't want to do a video, but they'll write us a quick review. So you're welcome to see those. Any other questions? We're wrapping this up. As we wrap this up, let me know if you have any other questions. Pop them in the question and answer or chat box, and we can see if I can answer those for you. Thanks for joining us today and being on this time. Appreciate you being here. Should the book link say confirmed? Yeah, it should. Let's see here. Did you just fill it out, Matthew? I wonder if it just went through. If it just went through, it may take just a minute for it to kind of come through our email. Make sure it comes through here. Let's see. About 5 minutes ago. Okay, let's see if it'll come through here. It should. Yeah, it should be going. You should get like a confirmation thing there. So I'll tell you what, shoot me an email, Matthew, if it didn't go through. Wes@treeservicedigital.com. If you got these invites to the webinar, just shoot me a quick email and I'm going to make sure that it did go through and it converted here. Because when you fill this out, it should, sometimes it does take a few minutes for it to come through to the email, but you should see a confirmation that thanks for filling it out or something like that. Thanks for requesting it. All right, guys. Well, If you want a free Google pay-per-click plan review, again, if you're on YouTube watching this later, leave us a comment below the video. We're happy to reach out to you and answer your questions there. But we will go over your business, where you're at, what you're doing right now, see if we can tweak anything, make anything better with your current Google Ads campaign, and go over a program that works for your business. You can give us a call at 770-637-3707, or just go to our website, treeservicedigital.com, and we have a form there to fill out, and it'll go right to our scheduling page once you submit it, and happy to go over your business as well. All right. Well, if you don't have any more questions, see if we got another one or two here. And yeah, similar one focused on Facebook ads. Yeah, we've done probably social media stuff in the past, and yeah, I'll consider doing one for Facebook ads for sure. We do Facebook ads here and there. It just the lead flow is not consistent on Facebook like it is on Google search. They're more motivated on Google than they are on Facebook in general. But it's always really good to do social media ads for branding and long-term memorability and things like that. So yeah, we'll consider putting one of those together too. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for your time. Appreciate you joining us today. Hope you have a great Friday and rest of the weekend. And if you missed parts of it, we're going to have a replay. We'll send that out first of next week. All right. Thanks so much, guys. See you on the next one.